Okay, so we're gonna move on to the last banner. We're at 10:30. I've been streaming for 5 hours. So banner 5 is kind of interesting. You're gonna see me fanboying all over something that got added to this. First off, we actually start out slow. Yeah, no problem, Saros. Like, I figured that would be something that people do. You gotta eat. I ate, so you should eat. Did I say healthy? Otherwise, I lose my voice, and I just pass out from fatigue and malnourishment. So we start out kind of slow on this banner. Noctis's USB is not that much to write home about. Omega Wakes? Oh, come on. Didn't this have, like, such a better name in Japan? I mean, that happens often. So we get 10 single attacks, X Royal Power, and Stone Skin 100% to the user. X Royal Power is underwhelming, unfortunately. Attack plus 30% increases non-elemental damage dealt by 10%. Removed if the user doesn't have any Stone Skin. So, like, the advantage here is the fact that it basically has an infinite duration as long as you keep using his USB. But attack plus 30% and non-elemental damage increased by 10% isn't that much of a benefit, so... you know... whatever. And it's... The Soul Break itself, unlike a lot of other stuff that Noctis has, is an instant cast. It's a 2.5 cast, just like any other Soul Break. Awakened Armiger. Yeah, that's better. Armiger wakes. Ah, God. Just a misunderstanding of the nuances of the English language. Like, yeah, whoever the community member that was that translated to Awakened Armiger is just aces. They should be hired by DNA immediately. So here's the problem, is the theory is that this is bad. This is bad unless there were, you know, something else in the world that could be benefited by having a Stone Skin 100%, and there is, and that's Noctis's OSB. I think the issue with Noctis's OSB, having another status like X Royal Power that persists as long as you have Stone Skin. The problem with it is that there's too many moving parts here, and all this does is allow him to quick cast full charge a lot. Or Omega Drive, and he doesn't do it all that powerfully. He just does it quickly. It's not enough. It's not enough, at least in theory. I think it could be powerful, but it's too many pieces for something that isn't powerful enough. If you're going to make me jump through some hoops to make things work, I want them to be excessively powerful, and this isn't. Noctis's value is elsewhere. It's called Gladiolus Link. It's a super soul break that's just insane. It's better than I ever thought it was. Instant cast to allies, and 6 single attacks, non-elemental. Well, you'd want it Omega Drive Mist because he gets the 25% combat dual cast Legend Materia Relic. So the Noctis power does not really lie in his USB, unfortunately. So it's a slow start, and I don't really consider this relic all that good. The stream is definitely going until the Lucky arrives. So what do we have? 2.5 more hours? Yeah, we peaked at like mid 110. It was nice. So slow start, but it picks up from there. it picks up from there. And this is where the banner starts getting kind of nuts. Apocalypse Zeta for our pint-sized summer dude, Alphino. Let's talk about this one for a few. Because this is a really cool and unique USB. Nothing else in the game is like it or will be like it. Terraflare. Already off to a good start. We have a good name. Grants Attach Wind and X Dreadworm Trance. Already off to a better start. Oh my god, where are you? I had you, but it repositioned me. So, the X mode's awesome, and the name of the thing is awesome, and the animation itself is awesome, and then we go into what X Dreadworm Trance does, which is really cool. Okay. SUM type attacks deal 5, 10, 15, 20, or 30% increased damage, with a more damage at ability rank 1, 2, 3, or 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And cast Death Flare when removed. Let's go over this first part first. You're basically aiming here to do 30% more damage. And you do that by having a hone at rank 5. Tough to do. I definitely suggest, if you get this USB, that you move into getting yourself some summon orbs, because you want your summons to be at rank 5 to get that 30% increased damage. And with a summon buff that is coming in the future, that's a really powerful thing. Right, it's by max hones, so it doesn't reduce. As long as you have it at R5, you're doing 30% more damage on top of the 18 multiplier that you're getting from Tiamat. It's a big deal. R5 Aligarmanda? Yeah. One of these days. But there's other summons that we're getting in the future.
Not drunk enough.
So here's the cool thing here is, yes, he gets Attach Wind. And yes, this is all meant to be used with Tiamat because he gets that Attach Wind. And, like, seriously, just wrap your head around this. 30% SUM damage on an 18.0 multiplier for Tiamat. And 50% increased damage with the Attach Wind status that he gets from using the USB in the first place. Tiamat's going to cap out. There's no doubt in the friggin' world that you're going to cap out and deal 30k with that. So that's really cool. And it doesn't stop. The fun doesn't stop, and this is what makes it as good as it is that it casts Death Flare when removed. So this is a 15-second status, and when that 15-second status is done, he casts Death Flare. So let's go find out what Death Flare is. Death Flare is non-elemental. 5 group attacks that deal damage for 7% of the damage dealt with summon attacks while you are inside the USB. So that during that 15-second X mode, it's counting the amount of damage that you're doing with SUM type attacks. The ability rank on command 1 of BSB would be 1. So it's not meant to combo with his BSB 1. His BSB 1, or his BSB, sorry, is still a single target, like, powerhouse. This is for the most destructive area of effect capability for multi-elements in the game. And that's what we're seeing here, is it's a non-elemental thing. And you're... Yeah, right, schizophrenic. It's what he says. It does not synergize with BSB. They're separate. They're separate. So you're getting a basically over 5 attacks, is 7% each. So it's a 35% of the damage that you dealt during that 35 seconds gets channeled out inside this Bahamut Death Flare. And it's a non-elemental. So what you could do during the X mode, instead of using wind damage, is you could also use Bahamut. In rank 5, you're Bahamut. So you can actually turn Alf into a great non-elemental character. As crazy as that sounds. And it's actually viable damage against single target as well. It's actually kind of silly what Alphinaud can do with this USB. And something that we can't see, but I can post in the top bar here, is that at the end of the X mode, it also will Smart Ether to you. So you can keep on using summons after it's done, and that's okay. Alphinaud just becomes he is the summoner. He is Final Fantasy Record Keeper, the summoner. And remember, Alphinaud, yeah, he gets a 35% dual cast summoning in his Legend Dive. Let's just add fuel to the fire, right? He is the summoner. Alphinaud is one of the foremost SC characters in the game, just because of the uniqueness of what he's capable of. He's just crazy. Love him, love him. And this is an excellent thing to pick up, I think. I mean, I'm waxing poetic about Alphinaud, so don't get too hyped about this relic itself. It's just one piece of the puzzle, but it really is very good by itself. His BSB is another piece of the puzzle, because his BSB is awesome single target damage. That instant cast is gross. Instant cast, attach wind, ugh. Radio will be better? No. Like, people are saying that tongue-in-cheek. It's not actually a real thing. Radio will be a good water summoner. Alph is anything 5-star. Yeah. So next up, we have something that we're familiar with, and that would be Lightning's Razor Carbine. Yeah, it's fantastic. The sword itself, it looks stupid. It looks really stupid, but it's a plus lightning sword. 6-star native, so that's an awesome relic by itself. Alpha is not only wind. No, that is incorrect. Lightning and her USB give her, attached. It's a USB, so we're gonna go take a look at it. Alphinaud with his USB removes the wind status. He's much better at wind. But he can do anything. As long as it's considered, it has summoning attached to it. Lightning. I only had to move one game, so... Oh man, why did I... Give me Razor Carbine. Never search for lightning on Enliers. It's kind of pointless. So Army of One is 10 single attacks, grants attached lightning, X blinding, and high quick cast 1. This is a very simple thing. I don't even have to go look at the status. X blinding is it grants her high quick cast 1 whenever she uses a lightning ability. Or damaging lightning. Is it just ability? Maybe I do have to look at the status. Where are you? There you are. after using a lightning attack. So that doesn't say ability, so anything lightning related. Yeah. So that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. That means if you use even a Soul Break, I don't even know what you would use with her. Oh, or OSB. It would high quick cast 1 the OSB out if your previous attack was lightning, and then the OSB again would trigger high quick cast 1, which is 66% cast speed reduction. That's just fantastic. Lightning is crazy with just her USB. She does not need her BSB2. She did back in the day when before we knew that the Thundering Quad Strike buff would be coming. No. No, it doesn't, because End Lightning doesn't affect Life Siphon. You need to do lightning damage. End Lightning, the only effect that actually changes would be your basic attack. And then please, don't do that. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Sketch. He's okay with the others and amazing with Tiamat. Yeah. But he's better than every other summoner in the game. Because he can do things that are okay in other elements, while nobody else really can. Rydia can unearth Titan. Renoa can unearth Titan, but let's be real. His USB is going to do more elemental damage than just someone unearthing out a summon. Yeah, lightning and just your USB is fantastic. All right. So this is fantastic. I want it. How does Rydia do holy? She does holy really poorly. God, Sketch, you go so far for the characters that you like, you can't convince me of this. Like, you're stretching. Stretch Sketch. That's what we're going to call you from now on. Like, where does her holy damage come from? Or... No, that's not optimal at all. Keep us to dancing. Yeah, or OSB, but OSBs don't work like that. They're not high DPS. They're high DPS over a short amount of time. But not sustained. Like, you want sustained damage. Even 30-second clears don't require high DPS over, 5 seconds. It requires high DPS over 30 seconds. Alright, so this is really good for basically everybody. Even if you already have a Razor Carbine, there's no problem with having another one. And we're going to say the same thing about Oversoul. Not like is universally as good as the Razor Carbine, because the USB is USB and sustained damage, where the Oversoul is just having a massive finisher on someone who can make very, very potent use of a massive finisher in Sid Reigns. Because his lead into it is just his BSB that insta-casts out his OSB. This is just disgusting. It's a plus, or it's a 6-star Dark Plus glove weapon. Now, Sketch, you don't know that she's wrong. That's the thing. You're being really forward, like you know for a fact you've done these things, and I honestly don't think that any of the numbers support it. You're starting to see toxic people because they're saying that Rydia is a good water character, and that's fine. But you gotta stop being so defensive over the characters that you like. I like a lot of characters that aren't, you know, aren't the best characters in the game. You just can't, like, come out and say people are wrong. Because you don't have enough information to say that. I don't, and no one else does. Okay, so moving on, we have the other component to Alphino. So because Sid Reigns is just an OSB, come on. There's nothing to really go into there. I think it is dark and holy damage, just like his BSB, so it gives him 2 elemental disgusting, you know, destruction. But now we have Alphino's BSB, which is an awful dupe. Because it's a book. It's a book, but if you don't have it, you want it. This is ridiculous single target wind damage. And he can do other things with it because of that other command, but I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I never use it. I think, when did I use it? I did use it in the D300 Final Fantasy II Torment, didn't I? Merked, because he already has an 8-star. It's really not useful to have more than one of them. Who's the other user? Vane? Yeah, the single target wind damage that Alphino puts out with this is just massive. Okay, can use books? Yes, you can. But it's not like this is a big stat stick, though. It's just a magical book. Whatever. I'm probably going to be using mine as a Rosetta. I guess it's a stat stick in 14 for him. But anyway, it's really simple. You cast it, you get yourself M-Wind, then you insta-cast out for a bunch of Command 1s, then you insta-cast out his BSB again and keep on dealing damage. It's just some of the best sustained DPS in the game versus Wind Vulnerability. Folding a P for the Nabat. I have this, and I really like it. I really like it because I believe it is the best Imperial Dark for mages. Just because Nabat has support access, which means you can get it out really quickly, just like you have support access on Sid Reigns, so they kind of match each other. You'll always be able to, you know, wrath out what you're trying to with Sid Reigns, then use Memento Mori on Sid Reigns, and the turn before, use the Imperial with Nabat, and you're always, you know, hand in hand adding potency to each other. It's, I think, just a really powerful combination, and I have, as recently, have just used Nabat to keep on wrathing. That's it. I don't think there's really much competition with Kusha, just because that support is so powerful. He does have the raw damage, and that's really cool, but the support 4 is just... whew, whew. It's too much. And next up we have, you mean the BSB that everyone needs. Reigns is the carry man. There's very little I can say about this that people don't already know about. Oh yeah, definitely both better than Seymour 15-2. It's Dark and Holy element. He can Wrath into it. He gets more damage on the entry cast if he's doomed, which is a fairly easy thing to do with a Darkness Mage. And Stitch in Time second command. No, Lingering Spirit second command. And an instant magic attacks first command, which means that even if he's hitting resistance, he can still do a fair amount of damage, because a lot of his damage potential is in the fact that he attacks so quickly, rather than buffs up the damage of his attacks. And then the entry itself is magic and defense, plus 30% to the entire party, so it's just one of the most powerful relics the game has to offer. Yeah. Great. Just fantastic. So, I mean, what is the bad stuff that we've seen on the Spanners? The worst thing we've seen on the Spanner so far is this. Is Noctis's USB. That's the worst. And admittedly, it's really not that good. But from then on, it's all good stuff. The only things you're worried about here is dupes, and some of the dupes are even good. Lightning's USB, good dupe. Rain's OSB, good dupe. Rain's BSB is a good dupe if you don't have his OSB. Because the base magic at 8-star is going to be less than the base magic on just the 6-star OSB. But, I mean, I'm in that position. I have a 6-star Metamorphosis Clause and no OSB, so if I pull on this banner, which may happen, I will be okay getting a third Metamorphosis Clause to turn this into an 8-star. If I don't get this, I definitely do want this very much, but I'll be okay with that because it adds power to a character that I use very, very often. Okay, so next we have Memphilia's BSB, which is bad. It's just an unholy BSB on a poor knight whose value lies elsewhere. Memphilia is really good with her USB, but the BSB is just poor. She does a little damage with it, a little more than, you know, I don't know. Yeah, it's just bad. Is it a Hopeless Holy Sword? Yeah, it is. But it's a 5-star, so who cares? No, it is unholy. It is unholy. Schizophrenic. The entry is Unholy Damage, single target, and the commands are Power Breakdown and Magic Breakdown. Both 2 hits, I think. So it can do like a fair amount of damage from the support position. It's just not a really valuable thing to have in this day and age, and won't be in the future. So wouldn't be thrilled to have this no matter what. I agree, Zadowel. I think Memphilia's Super Soul Break is better than her BSB. I have it and use it in a couple Magicite fights because she makes a great buffer and truster. Yeah, she is a much better buffer. And next up we have Hope's BSB2, which the defining characteristic of this is the fact that it's a plus Holy Bracer, and I still believe it's the only one in the game, so that's kind of cool, but otherwise, it's an area of effect dispel, it can area of effect dispel with the burst commands, so it's got that going for it. Otherwise it's just mediocre holy damage. So it's a good relic, but bad burst. And next up we have the good damage dealing thing that Noctis has going for him. This combined with his LMR allows him to use full charge and Omega Drive to some pretty fair effect. As a non-elemental damage dealer, not as good usefulness wise as his Super Soul Break, but still good enough. Better than his USB at least. And next up, we have something that I'm personally interested in. I hate the Burst Soul Break itself. It's Ida's Burst Soul Break, but this is a plus fire fist weapon, just like Zell's on the 3rd banner. I really like this, because I would love this for Refia. And that would be it, and that's good enough, because Refia, there's getting elemental weapons for people, and then there's getting elemental weapons for Refia, and you know, there's a difference. This is really good as a relic. The BSB itself is kind of... And Next up, we have Gladiolus BSB, which is really simple. It's just an Earth. Gives him Sentinel, and he gets higher hits with the more defense he has. It's very similar to Warrior of Light's BSB. It's not all that great for damage potential. It's okay. Oh, sorry, Dragon. It's just commentary during one of the Final Fantasy Live music events. Well, it's better than Warrior of Light's BSB, but just not by much. And then we end this banner with a bang. We get the third six hit club. Papalimo's Rod is a plus fire rod. That is good by itself, and the fact that the burst soul break is just disgusting. It's a fire 6-hit, stitch in time, scaling, not gonna be removed from the meta of the game anytime soon. I disagree with that, Zadowel. Gladiolus has much better options for dealing earth damage than Tifa does. Gladiolus at the moment has a better burst commands than Tifa does. And then eventually Gladiolus with his Sentinel command has access to Earthbringer, which is a nice 4.0 multiplier earth damage. So I definitely strongly disagree with Tifa's BSB being better than Gladiolus's. And now that's another point, that Gladiolus can self-buff with Samurai. Then again, it's not like Tifa can self-buff with Meteor Crush. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing wrong then, Zadowel. Because it's just in the numbers, like... That's not even something I feel like at any point not confident in just proclaiming. Gladiolus is better than Tifa as far as BSBs in every single way. So Papalimo, this is like a gigantic hit, and it may even be a good hit for people that already have it because of that plus fire rod status. This is a nice relic for Terra to use with her USB. She can't use Vivi's staff, unfortunately, but she can use rods, and this is one of the better fire rods in the game. Well, Mist, you can use more than one. I'd be using Bartz's BSB3 and Gladiolus, and probably Tifa too. Yeah. And lastly, we have one of the best healer BSBs in the game, in Iris. Just Cura Medica on entry, Stone Skin to everybody on entry, and Status Blink to everyone on entry. With Zero Cast Time Kiraja command and Medica command. It's just a powerful burst, and there's no mystery to it. Maria, Idia, and Papalimo? No, Papalimo's the only one Solus. Adia gets a poor Legend Dive, which is magic +1 for each hit dealt with BLK attacks that deal ice damage, up to 30%. Her LMR is 35% chance to grant Quick Cast 1 to the user after an ice attack. That's not bad. That's actually really good. But it has nothing on Papalimo's Dual Cast 35%. And Maria, I don't believe, has a good Legend Dive either. Yeah, it's the same one as Adia. And that's magic +1%, which each hit dealt with damaging BLK attacks. It's not the exact same, because Dias need to be ice. But still. Papalimo wins that. And his relic, unlike the other two, is plus elemental. Yeah, Maria could get a 25% dual cast LMR. Yeah, yeah. Well, or Renoa's weapon, Miss Darren. We do have plus Earth Mage gear. Renoa's Super Soul Break 2. Renoa's USB is a plus ice thrown weapon. So how does everyone feel about this banner? I'll go over a little more. I only did the rundown. So we don't like, or I don't like, Noctis's USB. Minfilia's BSB. Hope's BSB is okay. Plus Holy Bracer. I'm iffy about Gladiolus's BSB. I think it'd be fine. I mean, my only earth damage at the moment is Bartz's BSB 3, and I could definitely use some addition to that party, because I can't even complete that in under a minute yet. So this would be fine. Am I getting any earth damage in the near future? We have Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced Melee Duel doesn't count. Final Fantasy 3, the Onion Knight banner, I get Ingus's BSB 2. Possibly. And that would be fine. I could use all three of them. It's kind of a slow-acting group. I think this would be good for me for a very long time. Can't think of any Earth stuff that would kick it off the team. So I'm actually okay with this. There are a lot of dupes. Let's see, my dupes. Metamorphosis Clause, but I'm okay with that one. And here are the issues, is Nabat and Alphino's BSBs are dupes for me. Nothing is a dupe here. Lightning's USB is fantastic as a dupe, and so is Rain's. But these, all three of these are big hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this is a pull for me, most likely. We'll see after the luckies and stuff are done, but...
Are you drunk? Not drunk enough.
I am out.
You're out. Well, in an hour, bit farming starts. Oh, she's not leaving. Well, maybe she is leaving, but I did see her stream ended. How many hits? Well, we got 9 on this banner. I still have 625. Hopefully we can get that back up of 1,000 tonight. The 8 event in JP is crazy, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't doubt it, Dawn. I don't. I think it honestly, it depends, Saros. I think it depends. There's a big difference in the quality of hits on these banners. I can evaluate them a little more focused because it's only 14 relics rather than, you know, everyone thinks she's leaving. And lucky draws where it's harder to apply a higher weight to stuff. On a banner like this, there's a very high weight applied to these three, and there's a very high weight applied to Bart's and Terra. So I won't consider them individual hits because there's a big difference between the hit of Gladiolus BSB and Lightning USB. Yeah, Noctis S Super Soul Break is Yeah, I would say it's the best Final Fantasy 15 relic. Wow, we got to the end of the 5th banner, and I don't feel like I'm about to pass out. It's crazy, and a good thing because I need to stream for at least another 2 hours. Okay, so we're at the